Hello everyone, I'm Vince Lang from Hungary, and today I'd like to present you our operational group on the development of field soil test methods and rational cultivation techniques. The objective of the operational group is to analyze and compare field soil testing methods available on the market for farmers in Hungary to identify which one is able to identify the within field variations, sensitive spots, soil health, and which can be the real baseline for site-specific applications and sustainable management of soils. The starting point or the motive was coming from our farmers who are struggling to find the best ways to start their precision agriculture applications or nutrient management, or how they can assess their soil quality and how they can find practices which are going to increase their soil quality. To start this research, we selected various fields throughout the country to cover as many different soil types and conditions as we can. These include silt-affected soils having high sodium contact, heavy clay soils with shrinking and swelling clays, Chernozem soils, which are the most fertile in the country. And as we are moving up on the landscape, working on acidic soils with the clay elevation, and then on the high relief intensity areas, highly eroded landscapes with sometimes parent material on the surface with limited productivity. For tested methodologies, we did grid soil sampling on different scales from 0.5 hectares to 10 hectare blocks. We also did a very detailed grid soil survey down to 1 meter depth and doing also soil classification. We also tested the different soil scanners, contact and non-contact scanners. We also tested handheld soil scanners. We also had information from harvester, the yield maps, and we did remote sensing using satellites and UAVs, both in RGB and NIR lights, and we were also using digital elevation models from 3 different sources and creating different derivatives. To validate the results, we chose different methods. First one was comparing them to the yield maps and how they are really correlating with the yield map information. And the other one was comparing them to the 0.5 hectare grid sampling results, which are the most informative data sets on these fields. And to do that, we created nutrient management plans for each of the layers and compared those to these 0.5 hectare grid sampling results, which is very important for us because we wanted to see how much difference in the application would be resulted from using the not suitable data for the certain fields. For one field, you can see the results on the right side, where we can see on 4 different spots what are the differences in applied rates coming from the different data sources. And in some cases, it can be several hundreds of kilos, and starting from 8 kilos as the lowest value. But on an average, it really ranges from 50 to multiple hundreds of kilograms. The main finding was there was no universal method on these fields, which was equally good on every field. Each of these methods could identify different features on these fields. For example, the EM method was able to identify the argic horizons underlying the topsoil. The EC method was able to identify the calcic horizons on top, which were all important information, but sometimes not really correlating to the profitability maps of these fields. In general, we can say that under hilly conditions, the digital elevation model and remote sensing techniques were better, while on lower landscapes where salt-affected areas occurred or where the variability in parent material was so high, the EC methods and the UAV methods were working better. But the main finding was that quality soil survey is essential because if you use the wrong data, you can really have a very high impact on the environment with a very small or very low impact on your profitability. So as a general finding, we can say that quality soil survey is the key to lowering your environmental impact and increasing your higher profitability. We could see that choosing the wrong data sets as a baseline data can have a really high impact on the environment with limited or no effect on your profitability. So the validation of different soil survey methods under different soil and environmental conditions is essential, and we shall not accept the so-called best technologies coming from marketing of these companies. I hope I could give you a little insight on our operational group and how we are trying to improve the cultivation techniques of the local farmers through providing proper ways of thinking and soil survey methods to decrease their environmental impact, soil quality, and increase their profitability through smart methods.